What's poppin' YouTube, and welcome to my channel, Astro Finesse. It's your boy Lil Finesse Jiggy Hippie, back with another video for y'all. And this video right here is if your North Node is in the sign of Pisces. And I'll pause for the cause. If you don't know what your North Node is, if you don't know how to find your North Node, if you're a new subscriber, if you're just starting off your journey of self-love, self-knowledge, self-understanding, if you don't understand how important it is to study yourself, to learn yourself, and to love yourself through astrology and numerology, don't worry, I got you. There's a couple of videos. I'll put the link in the description. You have to watch them first to become hip to the knowledge of what I'm about to talk about, of what I'm about to talk about right now. So if you look at your birth chart or your natal chart, it's the same thing. And you realize that your Mercury, if you realize that you're Pisces, if you realize your North Node is in the sign of Pisces, this video is for you. So without further ado, let's just get it popping, shall we? And you already know, before I start, I'm gonna give y'all a list of some celebrities so y'all can visually see what North Node and Pisces people look like and act like in reality. So to start, we got Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, Jay-Z, Chris Brown, Robin Williams, Adele, Naomi Campbell, P. Diddy, A$AP Rocky, Janae Aiko, Haley Williams, Big Sean, Steph Curry, Taraji P. Henson, Queen Latifah, and Kevin Durant. Alright, so boom, North Node and Pisces. So first of all, what does North Node and South Node mean in your chart? What does it represent? The nodes in our chart represent our destiny, our North Star, where we're supposed to be working towards, which is our North Node. And we're trying to leave or trying to release our karmic past, our South Node energy. Before I even move on, we all have to understand that we have all lived many past lives before. This is not your first time being here on this earth plane. This is not your first time living this human experience. We're all just borrowing this vessel, this body that's made from this earth, made from dirt. We're borrowing this vessel. Our soul is borrowing this vessel to carry out the soul purpose it has, to carry out the soul mission it has. When we live in this earth plane and we don't carry out our soul mission and our body dies on this earth, our soul just goes back into another vessel and we start this all over again. So understand that we have lived many past lives before. And the South Node represents the past lives that you have lived, the characteristics you had embodied coming into this vessel right now. So that is our comfort zone, because we are already mastered these traits, mastered these South Node traits. We have mastered the characteristics of our South Node. And now we're coming into this vessel, coming into this lifetime. Since we mastered it already, and that's our comfort zone, we are trying to move towards progress, move towards our destiny, move towards our North Star, to move towards the characteristics of our North Node. The North Node characteristics is what we have not mastered at all, so we're trying to walk towards that. And the North Node and South Node is always going to be opposite of each other. So in this case, having a North Node in Pisces, the opposite sign of Pisces is Virgo, so your South Node is automatically Virgo. So what does that mean? That means you have a Virgo South Node. That means in your past life, you embodied a lot of heavy Virgo characteristics. So now in your past life, you could have been like a doctor or a nurse or somebody that people relied on you for your service. People relied on you for the work that you do. And you felt the most important, you felt the most productive when you were being of service to people, when you were working for people. So work for you was very important, and you like to help people. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but Virgo is like the helper, is like the servant of the zodiac. So they love to be of service to people. They feel the most productive, they feel the most soul fulfilled when they could be helping somebody in any work that they do. So in your past life, you were very into your work. You were extremely analytical. Everything that came into your life, you looked at it through an analytical lens. You already know Virgos are very perfectionistic. They don't miss any details. So you were all up in your mind. That Mercury ruled by the mind. You had a lot of Mercury qualities, Mercury characteristics. So you were very mind driven. So everything came into you was all about the mental, how you analyze it, how you compartmentalize it, how you categorize it. Always trying to be organized and everything, professionalistic and everything. Little OCD around what happens to you, what goes around you. A lot of times with this placement too, you could have been a control freak, as in like you want to make sure that you had control over everything in your life. You did not want to miss anything. You wanted to make sure that everything is set how it's supposed to go. It's like you felt the most fulfilled when you could put things into motion and watch the system work. When you can see something that does not work, take it out and make the system work again. So you were extremely analytical, extremely driven by your day-to-day work, day-to-day mundane activities. So that's the traits that you have mastered already. You come into this lifetime mastering these traits. You come into this lifetime being extremely analytical. You can have the negative traits of the Virgo. You can have the negative traits of the Virgo South Node, which is that control freak thing when you always have to be in control of everything. Make sure everything is perfect. Make sure you yourself are perfect. Make sure people around you are living their life in the perfect way. So you're always trying to like help somebody do something for them. You could have been extremely on top of somebody to make sure they do what they have to do. Very hard on yourself too. So now we're not supposed to completely forget about the South Node energy, because understand that having a Virgo South Node, having Virgo energy in general in this lifetime, in this matrix, is very needed. Virgo energy is extremely important for this matrix we live in, because Virgos are really, they know how to live in reality. They know how to go through the mundane day-to-day activities. They know how to set things in proper order. They know how to organize things. They're very needed in this reality. They're really good at sticking to the matrix, sticking to the plan, and making sure they can like progress themselves when it comes to practical, earthy type things. They're an earth sign. So I'm not saying forget about all these characteristics, but understand that right now, since you have mastered all these traits, since you have mastered being so analytical, since you have mastered being so professionistic, since you have mastered being so on top of everything and so mundane day-to-day activities all up in your work, you could be a workaholic too. Now you're being called upon to work towards your North Node, to work towards your North Star, your destiny. And that is your Pisces characteristic. You're supposed to try now to become more like a Pisces type person. And now this axis, the Virgo Pisces axis and the Scorpio Taurus axis, these are probably the hardest axes to master when it comes to North Node and South Node. But understand that because you're so comfortable being analytical, going through day-to-day activities and mundane activities, a lot of Virgo South Node people don't really get in touch with their spirituality, the spiritual side of life. And that's where the Pisces North Node comes in. Because Pisces, we all know Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's like all the signs put together. It's completely like directly connected to the source. So they're very spiritual. They are like the most spiritual sign. They are directly connected to the source. Pisces people have a tendency to like daydream a lot, be in la la land a lot, but they just have a lot of spiritual downloads from the universe. So they're very extremely spiritual. They trust in the universe to let their life go by. Virgos do not like to let things happen. They don't like to just put their arms off and just let it happen. They like to be hands-on with everything. They like to be professionistic with everything. They like to be on top of everything 24/7. So doing this all the time, being stuck in your South Node, what happens is you can really cause a lot of stress to yourself, because having Virgo South Node, you have a tendency to like worry a lot. You always have anxiety. You're always stressing. You're always worrying about something because you want to make sure everything is perfect. You're being called upon now to relax a little bit, to let go just a little bit, and have faith in the spiritual realm, to have faith in a higher power, to have faith in the universe. Instead of being so anxious, being so worrisome, being so on everything 24/7, workaholic all the time, working so much, instead of putting your mind on this matrix of this world that y'all mastered the matrix, y'all mastered having to take care of yourself in this matrix, y'all mastered that already. But now you're being called upon to kind of get out the matrix a little bit, get out that mindset a little bit, and actually look towards having a spiritual connection with the universe, with the higher power, whoever you believe in, having a spiritual connection, believing in something, believing in a higher power, believing in somebody that's higher than yourself, believing in a higher power, so that you could be able to let go a little bit, to relax a little bit, and be able to embrace spirituality in this lifetime. Virgo South Nodes, because you're so stuck in the matrix, because you're so detail oriented, you can have a tendency not to really care or not to really embrace the spiritual side of life. If you're doing this in this lifetime, if you're like a workaholic, if work is everything that's important to you, if being of service to people in the physical aspect is always like really important to you, if that's all you think about in this lifetime is being analytical and always being in your head, being mental, understand that you're being stuck in your South Node energy. You're being stuck in your comfort zone. Now you have to embrace Pisces characteristics. Another Pisces characteristic you have to embrace is being empathic, not to only others, but especially have emotions and be empathic to yourself. Virgos have a big thing where they can really be self-sabotaging, where they could be so hard on themselves, when they could do something exceptionally well and still find a fault to it, still find a negative to it, look at themselves in the mirror and still find something that they don't like to see. It's like Virgos can really have no emotions or no empathy towards their own selves a lot. Pisces North Node, you're being called upon now to embrace opening up your emotions a little bit, embrace being more empathic to others, especially loving yourself, being empathic to yourself, actually getting in touch with your feelings. Virgo South Node people can really be caught into being too reserved, not really expressing themselves like that, not really opening up themselves like that, because Virgos really are cautious about who they open up to. They're really cautious with their emotions, and that's very understandable. But understand that if you're stuck in that South Node, it's you being stuck in your comfort zone. You're not progressing in this lifetime. You're not growing. You want to actually be able to, just like a Pisces are the ones that are always, they put their heart on their sleeve. They're very empathic to people. They can really put themselves in other people's shoes. They can really like heal people in a way with their emotions and really merging with them like that. Virgos is always like, nah, like I'm good. Like I'm good right here. I got my space right here. And Pisces is all like, come here, give me a hug. Like, you have to embrace actually being able to be emotionally vulnerable to people around you. Now, this is extremely hard for Virgo South Node. This is why your North Node is always extremely hard to conquer, to get to, because y'all mastered your mind already. You mastered being analytical already. You mastered the matrix already. You mastered being perfectionistic when it comes to the practical, mundane, real life things in this world, the earthy things in this world, because y'all mastered it. Now you have to now you're being called upon to actually think with your heart a little more, think with your intuition, and actually let the higher power, let the universe kind of guide your life instead of you trying to be in control of everything all the time. Because when you're doing this, understand that you're putting anxiety on yourself. You're being self-sabotaging a lot. You're not allowing your emotions to flourish as it should, as a Pisces North Node wants you to. They really want you to really embrace Pisces energy. That's the biggest thing for this placement. Let go a little bit, relax a little bit. Don't be so on top of everything 24/7 to the point that you're damaging yourself in the process from all this worrying you're doing, from all this overthinking you're doing, all this overanalyzing you're doing. See how Pisces live their life? They look like they're dreaming all the time, but they just generally have trust and faith in the universe that no matter what the universe is going to do to them, it's going to put them in the right position, put them in the right spot. And I'm not saying go 100% to the max Pisces North Node and don't have no practical qualities to yourself. Don't be grounded at all. It's all about having that complete, perfect balance between the two axes. If that's the word. But try to get out of your analytical mind a little bit and go towards the most important thing is spirituality. Try to work on when you're helping somebody, when somebody needs like your advice or needs like your support, instead of always like trying to figure out a solution, which is easy for y'all to do, is just get a solution and be like all practical, like, all right, so that's your problem, this one needs to be done, this should be taken out, yada yada, and stuff like being all like analytical like that. Actually try to be emotionally there for them, like, you know, give them a hug. Like, I know that's hard for y'all. It's hard for me too, trust me. But like give them a hug or something like that. Like, trust me, it's hard, I know. But be like emotionally there for that person. Don't always want to like do something for them physically. Like, try to give them advice that will like lift somebody up, lift somebody's spirits up, lift somebody up spiritually. Like, look more into the spiritual realm of life rather than looking so much into the mundane, everyday, earthy part of life. So this placement, you should like look towards like being like a spiritual healer, because y'all automatically are healers. Like I said, in your past life, you probably were a doctor or a nurse or a scientist, anything that was like analytical like that. Now you want to actually look at trying to help people in a spiritual way, in a way that will help their energy, a way that will help their spirits, rather than being so mundane, everyday, so earthy, in a way that will help them in their practical life. Try to look towards helping somebody in their spiritual way, and emotionally being vulnerable to people around you, emotionally letting yourself be open to people around you, and emotionally letting yourself be vulnerable to yourself, and to love yourself and accept yourself for things that you do. Be empathic to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so self-sabotaging. Don't be so critical on yourself. You actually want to have emotions and put it inside yourself first, and then be able to actually let your emotions out and be more people oriented when it comes to giving out love and your energy. Stop being so reserved 24/7 like that, because that's you being stuck in your South Node. Be more Pisces like, be more embracing, be more spiritual. Get into spiritual practices, get in touch with your spiritual self. With this placement, you have to go on a spiritual journey to really find your higher self, to really get in touch with yourself. Like, this is like a must to go on a spiritual journey to find yourself spiritually, because you already know how to find yourself in this lifetime, in this matrix, how to live and survive every day-to-day mundaneness, going to work, scheduling, everything being perfect. Like, y'all have that down packed already. That's cool. But instead of being stuck in the matrix realm or being stuck in your analytical mind, go towards spirituality. Get in touch with the higher knowledge, with the higher self. Get in touch with the universe. Get in touch with spiritual knowledge. Get in touch with being artistic, being into like the dream world just a little bit, instead of being so much in the analytical mind 24/7. So that was my video on Mercury. What? That was my video on the North Node in Pisces. I hope y'all enjoyed that. My next video is gonna be on, I don't know yet, but you already know I'm about to go in. That's my last video of this series. I appreciate all y'all that's been patient. Appreciate all the support. You already know I'm not gonna stop making these videos. If you have subscribed to my channel, appreciate all y'all for real. If you haven't subscribed yet though, go ahead and handle that one time for your boy. Drink your water, mind your business, and be safe out here. It's your boy, Lil Finesse, Jiggy Hippie. I'ma see all y'all when I see y'all. Peace.